You are thirsty before you are afraid. Your mouth is dry, your tongue feels thick. The sun has been above you for hours, and the last water in the skin bag is gone. Then you hear it, a small stream moving through grass. You push through the reeds and see water, but it is not clear blue water. It is brown at the edges, leaves float on top. Animal tracks press into the mud beside it. Something has been drinking here before you. There is no filter, no plastic bottle, no tap, no chlorine, no doctor nearby if your stomach turns against you. So what do? Did ancient humans really drink dirty water? The answer is uncomfortable, sometimes, yes. But that does not mean they were magically immune, it does not mean dirty water was safe. And it does not mean ancient people were careless. The better answer is that ancient humans lived inside a world where water was never just water. It was life, it was danger, it was a memory map, it was something you had to read. Today, many of us expect water to be invisible until we need it. It waits inside pipes, it comes from a bottle. It is filtered, treated, tested, and delivered. If it looks strange, we do not drink it. Ancient humans did not have that luxury. They had rain, rivers, springs, pools, snow, dew, plant water, animal trails, and the knowledge of where water might still remain when the land became dry. But natural water can carry danger. The World Health Organization warns that microbiologically contaminated drinking water can transmit diseases such as diarrhea, cholera, dysentery, typhoid, and polio. That matters because the ancient world had no germ theory. No microscope. No laboratory test. A stream could look alive and still make a person sick. A pool could look calm because nothing was moving, and that stillness could be the warning. So ancient humans probably survived not by drinking anything they found, but by learning which water was less dangerous. Running water often mattered. Springs mattered. Places where water emerged from rock or sand mattered. Water above camp could be safer than water below camp. A flowing stream could be better than a stagnant pool. A muddy hole full of animal dung could be a last resort, not a first choice. They did not need modern chemistry to notice patterns. People got sick after some water. People stayed well after other water. Children vomited, old people warned, a camp moved. A place was remembered. Over time, the landscape became a kind of survival database. Do not drink below the place where animals gather. Do not drink where the water smells rotten. Do not drink from the dead pool if the spring is still running. Dig near the dry riverbed. Follow the birds. Watch where animals return at dusk. Remember which valley still holds water when the grass turns yellow. Ethnographic studies of mobile foragers show how strongly water can shape movement. Among the Hadza of northern Tanzania, camps shift regularly, and during the dry season groups concentrate near the limited waterholes that hold water year-round. That is a simple detail with a huge meaning. Water was not just something you found during the day. Water shaped where people slept, how far they could travel when they moved, and how many people could stay together. If water was scarce, the whole social map changed. This is one reason rivers, lakes, springs, and wetlands mattered so much in prehistory. Archaeologists often find human activity near water sources, not because ancient people loved scenic views, but because water pulled life toward itself. Animals came to drink, plants grew there. Clay could be found there, fish, shellfish, reeds, tracks, and shade gathered there. Water was a meeting point for food, tools, and danger. But the same place could also be dangerous. Where animals drink, they also leave waste. Where people gather, waste can gather too. Where water slows, insects breed. Where floodwater passes, it can carry rot, bodies, mud, and disease. This is the paradox. The safest place to find life could also be the place where disease waited. So what did ancient humans do when the water looked bad but thirst was worse? First, they might choose movement. Instead of drinking from the first pool, they might walk upstream. They might look for a spring. They might dig into damp sand and wait for water to seep in. They might collect rain from leaves, hides, shells, bark, stone hollows, or containers if they had them. They might use snow or ice in colder places. They might eat water-rich fruit or plants when available. They might follow animal paths, but not blindly. Animals can lead you to water. Animals can also contaminate it. So the skill was not simply copying animals, it was reading the whole scene. Is the water moving? Does it smell wrong? Are there dead animals nearby? Is there a cleaner source above it? Are there fresh tracks or old tracks? Is the mud churned by many feet? Is this the last water for miles? The second tool was fire. If the group had fire, and if they had the right container, heating water could reduce danger. But we should be careful here. Not every ancient group could boil water easily at every time. Boiling requires a container that can hold water, fuel, time, and knowledge. Before pottery, people may still have heated liquids using organic containers or hot stones in some contexts, and experimental archaeology has shown that water can be heated in hide or stomach containers, including with hot stones. Later, pottery made boiling easier in many places, and research on early cooking suggests boiling was important among many prehistoric foragers in the mid to late Holocene, and earlier in some regions. But in an emergency, fire was not a magic solution. If the group was moving, fuel was wet, containers were absent, or predators were near, they might drink before they could make water safer. The third tool was memory. This may have been more important than any container. A person who knew the land could save lives, the old spring hidden behind reeds, the rock hollow that holds rain after storms, the dry riverbed where water can be found under sand, the bitter pool that makes people sick, the clear-looking pool that is always bad after the herds pass, the place where water is safe in the morning but muddy by evening. This knowledge was not written down, it was carried in stories, roots, warnings, habits, and fear. A child did not need to understand bacteria to learn that one pool was forbidden. They only needed to hear the story of what happened there. But did ancient humans get sick from water? Almost certainly. Sometimes, ancient people were not protected by being ancient. Parasites and intestinal infections have deep histories, and studies of ancient feces, sediments, and remains show that human bodies have long lived with parasites and pathogens. Water, food, animals, insects, soil, and crowding can all play roles. The exact disease burden varied by place and time. Small mobile groups may have avoided some problems that later crowded settlements made worse. But that does not mean the past was clean, it means danger changed shape. A moving forager camp might leave waste behind, that helped. But the same group could still drink from a bad pool, cut a foot in mud, eat contaminated food, or camp to near insects. Survival was not perfect, it was a constant negotiation. This is where the myth breaks. Ancient humans did not drink dirty water because they were stronger than microbes. They survived because they were selective when they could be, lucky when they had to be, and supported by the group when someone got sick. If one person had diarrhea, weakness, fever, or vomiting, the group had to respond. Someone brought water. Someone slowed the travel. Someone shared food. Someone watched the child. Someone decided whether to move camp or wait. In the ancient world, dehydration could kill quickly, so dirty water created a cruel choice. Drink and risk sickness. Do not drink and become weaker now. There was no clean answer every time, only better and worse choices. A desperate person might drink from a muddy pool, a careful group might avoid it. A dry season might force risks that a rainy season would not. A child might survive because an elder knew one hidden spring. Another person might die because the only water left was bad. This is why water knowledge may have been one of the oldest forms of intelligence, not abstract intelligence, survival intelligence. Knowing where to go, when to leave, which source to trust, which source to fear. How long a group can travel before thirst becomes dangerous. How much water a child can lose before the body begins to fail. Modern people often think of water as a substance. Ancient people may have experienced it more like a relationship. Some water was generous, some water was seasonal. Some water was stolen by heat. Some water belonged to animals first, some water looked clean and betrayed you. Some water looked ugly and saved your life. So did ancient humans really drink dirty water? Sometimes. But the real story is not that they drank filth and survived because they were tougher. The real story is that they spent their lives learning how not to make that choice unless they had to. They read the land. They remembered sickness. They followed springs. They watched animals. They moved camp. They used fire when they could. They shared risk, and when there was no safe water left, they made the best dangerous choice available. Imagine that first stream again. Your throat burns. The water is brown at the edges. There are animal tracks in the mud. You do not know the word bacteria. You do not know the word parasite, but you know stories. You know smell. You know movement. You know which way the stream flows. You know where the old spring might be. So you do not kneel immediately. You look upstream. You listen. You remember. And in that pause, there is survival. If you enjoyed this journey into the distant past, subscribe for more stories about ancient humans and human evolution.